Hey everyone, welcome to the ATYL live show on a Wednesday night. Good to see you all. We took the week off last week to kind of decompress, take some time, and also so you guys could preview Pocono a week ahead of what we're doing today. We got to talk to Kevin Teal, the director of marketing at Pocono Raceway last week, and obviously you guys have seen some of those posts or some of the follow up from that conversation on social media to get ready for this weekend. So of course, the entire team here and myself, Taylor Kitchen, we got Adam Lucas and Dom Joseph joining me here. We're going to preview Pocono. There's lots of NASCAR news to talk about. And of course, closing things out from Mexico City. I know it's Wednesday. We're kind of not completely done talking about Mexico City, but we're ready to move ahead. So we're going to close out some discussions there. And we would love for you all to join along in the comment section, things you want to hear about from Mexico City, NASCAR news, even there were some cool paint schemes unveiled today that I think we should also dive into. I feel like it's our duty to do that. So we will definitely get into it. But Adam, do you want to explain the teal real quick? I feel like there needs to be a shout out here.
All I can say is chance up, baby. Chance up. We are 2 wins away from a baseball national championship. We will play the winner of tonight's game on Saturday, 7 o'clock, and hopefully we get another W and we can close it out on Sunday. So,
Heck yeah.
Let's go Coastal.
Love it.
Also, that's why I'm hoarse.
There'll be 2 national championships in the ATYL stable this year, so that'd be pretty awesome.
There we go.
We like winning at ATYL.
We do.
Yeah.
We do.
Damn
we don't
right.
take losses well, but we learn from them. But we do like winning here. We do. OH.
IO.
Thank you.
Shots up.
I was going to say, where's the helmet? That was so fun. Anywho, we'll maybe talk some championship stuff a little later in the show, but let's dive into just the conversation about Mexico City. Obviously, a big weekend for Trackhouse Racing, and I guess in turn, Junior Motorsports for Xfinity, with Daniel Suarez winning the Xfinity Series, racing in the Cup Series. Shane Van Gisbergen, to me, unsurprisingly, from the poll, ended up winning the Mexico City event for the Cup Series. I guess I feel like just general thoughts about Mexico City. I'll throw it to Dom, you first. What was your perception of the race and even to the track, how it raced?
Well, I'll be honest. I was kind of offline this weekend traveling, so really didn't catch much of the race. But I loved the response the races got. A Daniel Suarez win in the Xfinity Series is obviously great in Mexico City. And then for SVG to win convincingly. In the Cup race, that's just a great story in and of itself. If you want to open up a new road course to the Cup Series, let SVG show you what a lap record time is, and everyone else can try to catch up for the next couple of years. But no, I mean, it's a proven NASCAR track. The Xfinity Series raced there before, well before the 2010s. So some of these guys, i.e. Denny and Kyle, had already raced there before.
Mm-hmm.
But it's cool to see a track like that back on the schedule because it is so fun. It's different. You got that long straightaway. Really helps build up the horsepower there, kind of like a Watkins Glen, a little bit like Coda as well. So the track itself is great. It put on good racing. What more can you ask for? And shout out to NASCAR for adapting. We got the Cup race in with a little bit of rain.
Mm-hmm.
Put the rain tires on there. When it cleared out, put the slicks on, and let's finish this thing. So kudos to NASCAR for getting rain tires, just fully accustomed to these guys. And it was a good weekend all in all. I think it's a victorious weekend for NASCAR and for Mexico.
Mm-hmm. And I know there were a lot of travel logistics as well. There was a few teams that got stuck in Charlotte for a bit just due to planes not totally cooperating, some mechanical issues there. I know altogether the planning for this event took a village, and we moved some things on the schedule around to accommodate the Xfinity teams that got stuck in Charlotte as well. But ultimately, again, kudos to NASCAR for, putting this all together. And obviously, Adam, I don't know if you saw this, but like the fans of Mexico were swarming these drivers. And like, I've never seen as big of a crowd for Todd Gilliland as I saw in Mexico City. Like it was incredible.
It was pure pandemonium, honestly. The reception that everybody got, it was almost like this was a international sports event of some sort.
Yeah.
It was really well received by the Mexican people, and I I enjoyed it. Obviously, being a little biased towards SVG, put on a
Yeah.
he put on a royal ass whooping. Okay, that was an ass whooping.
No, he did.
Yeah, flat out. Xfinity race, always classic banger at Mexico City, regardless of what decade it is. This track, it definitely proved it needs to be on the schedule going forward. I would take this over. I would take this over a street course, but obviously that might be changing soon.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that when we talk about NASCAR news. I have a
We'll
story to go
segue
with
for
it, but
later in the show.
I was gonna say segue we'll hold for later in the show
Yeah.
because yeah, as we get farther and farther into the season, I mean it's June. We typically have the NASCAR schedule for the following year announced like sometime in August is how kind of the trend has been. So we're inching towards schedule announcements potentially for NASCAR, and with that, you see some things leak throughout the season. So we'll talk about something that was leaked today for a potential track that we would go to, reported by Jordan Bianchi from The Athletic. But the other thing with Mexico City that I think I wanted to point out too was, yeah, I would really love to see us go back. I think every time we go to a new track for NASCAR or we renovate a track to kind of fit a different style of racing, I think about Bristol Dirt. We learn something. The first time we go, it's not going to be perfect, right? Again, Bristol Dirt, for instance, the Chicago Street Course, for instance, there were so many things that we learned that we improved the following year. And when I go back to Bristol Dirt, I think it wasn't until the final year we did that event that I thought the racing was really good. No real big errors altogether. Like they had it figured out. For this race weekend, I think the only thing they really didn't have figured out, just again, this is from an outside perspective, was just the travel component. I mean, that was it. They didn't really allow, because of the scheduling and where we went from Michigan to Mexico City, didn't allow the teams enough time, I don't think, to really get where they needed to be and make sure that there were zero errors. But otherwise, I thought it was pretty successful. I thought the racing was overall pretty fun. Yes, SVG kind of dominated the the last half there, but still, like I loved like the cars going through the stadium portion of the track. Like I thought that was so cool, and having not really watched any Formula One races at the circuit a little bit, like I really didn't know what to expect. So I thought overall it was really good. I was seeing something about the podium. NASCAR dude said, I like how they had a podium. That was cool. Don't know why people hate on that. Did you guys like the podium? Yes, no?
I wasn't a fan of it.
Wasn't a fan? That's fair.
It like I like podiums, but just podiums and NASCAR, they don't go together. It's kind of a foreign concept. So yeah, not a big fan of it.
It's not really a NASCAR thing. No, it's we champion the winner and that's it. You know, I can understand it if logistically it's like, well, this is how, because this track hosts Formula One and other open wheel championships. Like it's just, we designed Victory Lane for podium specifically.
Right.
So maybe it was just like, hey, it's built for this. Why don't we just do it?
Yeah.
It'll just, because there's going to be a lot of extra space up there and it's just not going to look good. Could very well be something like that, which I can understand. And at the end of the day, if we're going to do that because of that, then it's harmless.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think it was fun to try. Don't think I'd want to see a podium in the future, but I know we did it for the Coliseum and it was still really weird then. In NASCAR, we're so accustomed to, like Dom, you said, championing the winner. So it was kind of weird, but not bad. But we'll move on from Mexico City. Again, I wanted to just kind of gloss over it. I did, I guess, not move on completely from Mexico City. I did want to mention some comments that a certain driver made, because there were some internal penalties from this driver's team that were mentioned, and I felt we could talk about it here and have an open and fun discussion potentially. So,
open the door to the principal's office. It's the same kid again.
I was going to say it's the same kid again. I mean, Carson Hocevar has been in the spotlight for better or worse in the sport over the past, I don't know, I guess since the season started, right? Whether it's on-track mix-ups or whether it's even just like he got a cool truck and the media is talking about it. He's constantly in the public eye for NASCAR. And with that, I mean, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to maybe not make smart decisions or do anything like that. And with what Carson Hocevar said on a Twitch stream and a live Twitch stream that he did prior to the race on Sunday, he made some comments that followed, I guess, some disciplinary action. I will read some of the comments here before we kind of dive into the penalties, just so everyone understands the context. I think when the news was officially announced, not a whole lot of people actually knew he made the comments because it kind of flew under the rug, and then nobody really understood the context. And again, everyone's entitled to their own opinion, take it with a grain of salt, but I'm going to read what was said. Quote, this whole experience, if the travel was better, if getting here was easier, if you felt safer getting to and from everywhere, if it wasn't such a explicitive, if the track limits were a little better enforced, if it was going to be a little better race and it didn't feel so locked down, like you can't leave anywhere, it would be a great experience. It would be an absolute great experience. If you take all those out, it's unbelievable. It's great. So this was made prior to the race weekend, prior to cars on track, etc. Carson Esvar kind of just talking about his apprehensions probably towards Mexico City and the whole planning process, etc. Kelly Crandall has this whole quote on her Twitter profile. So if you want to read the whole quote with the kind of explicitives, feel free to. I just don't want to do that here. That said, though, following the Mexico City race, Carson Hocevar did issue an apology before penalties were to ensue. And in his apology, he had said, I'm trying to find the quotes here, maybe a kid that had never been out of the country until Thursday should ever give an opinion about what any place is like other than Portage, Michigan. When I answered that question on a stream, talking about what he thought about Mexico City, I was skeptical about the trip so far and believed everything I read or heard about Mexico City from people who more than likely also had never been here. Now that I've actually left my hotel a couple of times and raced here in front of some of the most passionate fans I've ever seen, my opinion has changed. I'm embarrassed by my comments, by the race I ran. There was another run-in with Ricky Stenhouse Jr., for better or worse. And I may have to move here to hide out from Ricky anyway. There we go. He went on to say that he's continuing to use this as another lesson as he kind of grows and matures, and he apologized to Mexico City, his team, etc. I know he's not the only, I feel like I'm on a ramble right now, so I apologize, but I know he's not the only one that had made comments publicly in the industry about Mexico City apprehensions, etc. But with all of this, setting up the stage here before we kind of get to a group discussion, Spire Motorsports, in conjunction with NASCAR, worked together to come up with penalties that were dished internally by Spire Motorsports to Carson Hocevar. They were a $50,000 fine that would be split three ways to different charities to benefit Mexico City, as well as sensitivity training that had to be completed by Carson Hocevar. So that said, I guess maybe opening the floor. It's a tough conversation to have because I think a lot of it is not easy to talk about. And I think a lot of it too is just like, I don't know what else there is to say besides he said things. The team felt it was issued, needed a penalty, and there you go. So I don't know if there was any other comments you both wanted to make about this. I just wanted to let the audience, y'all know that are watching, kind of what went down, because I know some of you guys were confused or didn't understand what was going on.
I think with Carson, he's young, very young.
22.
Testing the waters. Sometimes you get burnt.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you don't. He's gotten burnt quite a bit this season.
Mm-hmm.
But, probably need to start thinking before you speak. Know that the world is watching every move that you do, every like that you like, everything. You're underneath the microscope. And apparently the aliens are taking over. Here, let me do this. I'll continue speaking. But for Carson, he definitely he's got talent. He's got to be a little smarter. Definitely, he's got to be smarter with what he's saying.
Yeah, I think the easiest thing you can say is we have been here before where you think you can say whatever you want on the internet, someone's going to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just why, if you're getting paid this kind of money to be a race car driver and you are the supposed heir to the 48, or an even bigger paycheck and an even bigger responsibility, is on the horizon for you if you just stay the course and race clean and finish the races strong. It's like, why are you even bothering?
Right. And
All you're doing is getting off course just to make yourself feel better.
right. And I think, and all of us can probably relate to this in some way. I'm sure we've all said or maybe posted something that we probably shouldn't have, right? And you maybe issue an apology, you delete it, you whatever. But in these cases, it's you think you're invincible sometimes when you're posting or when you make comments, but somebody will see it. It was like a really small media outlet that had happened to have just listened to the stream and shared the comments, and NASCAR Reddit picked it up and it blew up, right? So what seemed pretty insignificant to Carson at the time ultimately ended up blowing up. And it's true. You got to think before you speak, and this will be ultimately a pretty harsh lesson for Carson to learn. But I mean, I think it was appropriate. I mean, Spire Motorsports, and this is really just in like conjunction to Spire Motorsports and their mission, and obviously, what they did. They said these actions are consistent with Spire Motorsports' core values of respect, which is something we proudly display on every race car, team uniform, trackside hauler, and digital channel. It's all over their race shop too, you guys. They're very, very, very prevalent on respect. It's not a slogan. They said it's a daily expectation that we walk the walk in how we speak, compete, and serve the communities that welcome our sport. Carson Hocevar's recent comments made during the live stream fell short of that standard, and then go on and on again. If you want to learn more about all of this, there is an article on Racing America on SI that really goes into detail, written by Toby Christie.
I will say too, like, it's sponsor poison is what it is.
It is.
For someone that, like, obviously, like, I get it. Like, a lot of these deals, like Chili's, for example, Gamebridge is a better one, honestly, where that's a team sponsor, where it's like they're not coming in just for you. But like, if he ever finds himself in a situation where it's like, hey, we need you to bring in something for this weekend because we've got nothing, it's like, who's going to take him? Because he's a sponsor risk. He's a PR risk, because all it takes is for them, because all it takes is for them to say, hey, we saw what you said about traveling to the country of Mexico, and you're asking us for $600,000 out of our pocket. We're not seeing a return on investment here. So,
and that's a very good point. It's a sponsor risk and a PR risk. And then you think about how fans want more driver personality. They want drivers to be on Twitch after hours doing live streams, talking to them. They want drivers to do more free appearances at like a local McDonald's or something like that to meet the fans. They want drivers to express more personality. And for me, when there's a situation like this where a driver is, on social media on their own time, expressing themselves in their own way, and then it leads to those types of comments and then this type of discipline, it hurts that process of letting drivers truly be themselves. And that's not to say what Carson said was right. I don't agree with what he said, but you have a driver who went too far on his own platform, and they're going to have to reel him back in, and you're not going to see as much personality, I don't think, from Carson. So it is a PR risk. It's a partnership risk. It's a very tricky situation to tread. But just to bring up here, in case you were confused about what the heck's going on with Carson Hocevar outside of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. wanting to kick his butt, that's it. So I think some of you guys had some good takeaways with this. John Jensen, good to see you, buddy. He said, my big takeaway with the Hocevar penalty is that it was his team that fined him for what he said. You normally don't see a team do that. There's sometimes where fans are begging the teams to punish a driver for...
Yeah, round of applause for Spire, honestly, for being like, hey, corporate, let us handle this. We know what he said. We'll take it. And for them to just say 50 G's out of your pocket, it's going to these 3 places, and you have to do this sensitivity training. It may sound ridiculous, but what you said was ridiculous. And none of this would have had to happen if you had to go on iRacing and speak your truth.
Yeah. And again, it was uneducated truth because he had not been there.
Exactly.
Is the thing. So a part of it is like, and this is why even often on the show, I'm like, I'm not going to speak about it until I know. And that's why I don't want to like, everyone's like, what did you think about Chicago? Or what do you think Chicago's going to be like when it was announced? And I'm like, I'm apprehensive, but I'm not going to say my thoughts until we go and I see it. Right. So there's life lessons in here too. But yeah, I will say kudos to Spire Motorsports, because you don't often see teams taking internal disciplinary action with either this stuff, or if a driver is repetitively just being a nuisance on track. I'm looking at a particular driver who maybe races in the truck series sometimes. And so you don't see that a lot, right? But this is a case where a team stepped up, knowing the power that this driver has in terms of star power and partnerships, whatever. They lay down the law, and I can appreciate that. That's just my opinion, though. But yeah, everyone has some good comments here. Yeah. So, and then, yeah, I will say, I was going to follow it up with this, and then we'll close this out and we'll move on. But Carson did defend his fine. He was like, I was dumb with the comments I made. I made an error, and these are my consequences, and I accept it. And for those who either defended his actions, whatever, he was like, this is it. We're dropping it. We're moving on. I accept it. That's fine. And I do appreciate him accepting that responsibility and really laying down the law there too. So
Fair enough. Yep.
Cool. So let's move on to our second piece of news here. You know what? I was going to go to some lawsuit news. I don't want to do that right now because, like, I want to lighten up the mood. Denny Hamlin has a new sponsor. How exciting. So did you end up seeing that announcement? It's not FedEx. No, it's not FedEx, but Denny Hamlin and Jacobs Racing have signed a new multi-year sponsor, which is Bob's Discount Furniture. So welcome back, Furniture Row Racing. You never know.
You're right.
But
yeah, Progressive Insurance and Bob's Discount Furniture. That's a hell of a combo. That's like CNC and Monster Energy.
Honestly, yeah. You've got Flo and you've got Bob. What a great combination. So
commercial waiting to happen, huh?
Yeah, it's honestly, hey, if on TNT we're gonna have all those like fun commercials that we had on like Prime, where these teams could really get involved, have some fun commercials, let's just do a mashup. Maybe yeah, I'd like to see it. I'm loving. Okay, this is a side change in here, but RFK Racing, all of the commercials that they've put out, oh my god, so good. The new Colgate one, cute, fun.
Yeah, they're trying.
They're trying.
I mean, listen, it doesn't matter if it's good or bad. It's like it's good to see that teams are doing commercials again with their sponsors. It's just more. Yes. It's more visual for the fans. It's exactly what you want. So, kind of brings us back to the good old days.
No, it does. Yeah. Now we need Mountain Dew and Doritos. Yeah, we need we need all the commercials we can get now from all these fun partners. So yeah, I'm excited for Denny Hamlin as we're seeing more of these multi-year deals kind of get mixed in with him and like what he's going to be doing. He does not have a contract signed yet past this year, from my understanding, but he has said that they're working on it. He's going to be here to stay for a bit, but it's good to see that they're bringing sponsors on board. And I think for me, and I don't know, like statistically, if we have anything that truly does back this, but seeing some of the sponsors he's brought in, I feel like I've been more inclined to use those sponsors. Like whenever I get like new tires or oil change or whatever, like I go to Mavis. Like I feel like his partners, because he's also won a lot with these new partners, he's gotten a good return on investment for them already.
Exactly. You see, and like, yeah, I mean, it's hard to say how FedEx fared.
Yeah,
because they were already global.
Mm-hmm.
But I bet you Sport Clips appreciates having Denny.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, no, it's always something. Sponsorship stories that they can shape a generation, they can shape a person.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, me with Home Depot.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's something that's just so simple. It's you don't really think about it until you see someone growing up with an M&M's car and all they're doing is eating M&M's whenever they go out with their family. It's like, okay, I can get it. I can kind of see it. It's like, it kind of makes sense.
I mean, and like with RFK, and then by the way, just one, because one of the commercials, and two, because of like the fantastic paint schemes, like the oikos, is that like the yogurt, right?
I think so. Yeah, Oikos.
Yeah. So now I'm a big fan of the yogurt because it's so good, and the protein shakes. I was like, sponsorship works. I gotta try it, and it's really good. So shout out to that. But
There you go.
I will say too, on that topic of like cool partnerships. So the RFK Kroger. Hold on, I gotta find this. Have you seen the Cinnamon Toast Crunch car?
I have seen the Cinnamon Toast Crunch car. Big deal.
It's
Big
a
deal.
big deal. Big deal. I'm gonna pull this up and I'm gonna put it on the stream here. Shout out to Harris Liu, by the way, for designing. He designed this T-shirt that I'm gonna show right here, and then I'll show the car. So let me share the screen. Maybe. Haha, there we go. Because if you guys haven't seen this, you're missing out. This is incredible. Like, it's so pretty.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's awesome. That's this. This is the T-shirt. I mean, I guess I'll plug like a good like find on RFK's Racing's website. So go get your T-shirts if you want. And then of course this is the car. Fun little graphic.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Part of me is now hoping this one wins because I would love to have this race winning diecast. I'm not gonna lie. This is so good. But yeah, no, good sponsors that are coming on
Busher's
board.
comment.
I was gonna say, call me Cinnamon Toast Chris, please. Can we have that on like the
on the B filler?
Can we have it on the B filler, please? That now needs to happen.
Yeah, put that above the door.
But and what I love about RFK Racing too, and like I promise I'll drop RFK Racing after this, but like their partnership activations have been stellar. I don't know if you saw the Band-Aid one. I'll pop us back on screen here. I don't know if you saw the Band-Aid activation that they did, but that was genius. Elijah Burke, the entire team over there, did an incredible job with that. And I'm excited to see what they do with this because this will be fun. So
I bet you they all show up to pre-race eating bowls of Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
They have to.
I bet you it'll be something goofy like that.
It'll be something goofy. And like again, just marketing a motorsport and trying to stand out on how you make yourself different, etc. Like RFK Racing is a great example of that. So they've done so good. Another paint scheme that I will try to find here too. Tyler Reddick's scheme with the Superman movie on the hood. Let's see if I can
the upper deck car.
Yeah. I personally not a fan of that paint scheme.
It doesn't use space well.
It does not use space well. Here, I'll throw this up on screen real quick. I guess I don't have a good visual of the hood in this photo here. Maybe not.
You can do it.
I got it. But yeah, I don't think this scheme really utilizes Superman. I can spell, I swear. Doesn't utilize the hood well. But also Superman movies coming out soon, so everyone get your tickets. Go see it. I actually started watching all the Superman movies. So like last night I started with the very first one, Christopher Reeve. Man, Tyler. Because gearing up for that. Here we go. Okay, here's a good photo of the hood. This is on, shout out to Toby Christie's website for having this article with the hood shown very prominently here. There we go.
Nice.
We got it. Yeah, it doesn't really utilize space well, but like I like the colors. It's fun.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Not bad. So yeah, we'll do that. We'll move on from the sponsorship talk. But again, anytime we have any creative partnership conversations, I have to bring up RFK Racing because they do such a darn good job. So apologies for the side tangent there, you guys. But last piece of news we will talk about before we get into our Pocono preview here. We all know that there's another lawsuit happening in the NASCAR space. That's not 2311 Racing related. I know there were some updates there regarding what 2311 Racing and Fort Worth Motorsports hope to gain from the lawsuit if they were to win. So we'll talk about that another time, but wanted to give you guys an update real quick about the RWR and the Legacy Motor Club stuff. Basically, RWR, Rickware Racing, countersued Legacy Motor Club. This news came out today over the charter sale. Legacy Motor Club filed an initial suit against RWR, in case you missed it, saying that they pulled out of a signed agreement to sell one of their charters for 2026. Now RWR is countersuing, and they're claiming that Legacy Motor Club is requesting the incorrect charter, and they claim that the sale that was for 2026 is actually for 2027. So interesting stuff there. Again, a good plug to Racing America on SI. They have a great article out about it if you're curious, but at least wanted to talk about it at a high level, that there's more happening than meets the eye. So very interesting there. Let's see. Oh yeah, we should whenever we talk about a lawsuit, we need to have the Law and Order music.
Oh,
Just
God.
ready to go. Oh my gosh. But anywho, that's all the news I have for today. Let's dive into our Pocono preview.
Sure about that?
You know,
You sure about that? Because we've got a new crew chief in the Xfinity series this weekend.
I was going to talk about that during the Pocono preview, but let's do it now.
We
Let's
might
talk
as well
about it
just-
now. We
if we're
might
gonna
as well.
transition into Pocono, we should just bring it up now.
Let's just talk about it now. Yeah. So there's one particular dude that's making his crew chiefing debut. I mean, no big deal. Just Dale Jr., right?
Dale Jr. I can't wait for this because it's
Like-
the sound bites we're gonna get out of this race is gonna be so funny. I did my best at work today because they were like, "What do you even think what do you even think is gonna happen?" And I could just see during a caution flag, hell, I don't know. Just put 4 on it, see what happens.
Every fan and anyone who is like, just anybody will be listening into the number 88 radio for the Xfinity series just to hear Dale call this race from the pit box.
So great. I
It's gonna
can't
be
wait.
so good. So the news is, of course, Dale Jr. is going to be crew chiefing this coming weekend at Pocono for Connor Zilisch in the number 88 team at Junior Motorsports. Standing in for Connor Zilich's crew chief, who is serving a suspension following 2 missing lug nuts on that car at the Nashville race, following the Nashville race. Why Dale Jr.? I don't know. I don't know if I care. I'm just happy it's happening.
Listen, I love it. I bet you part of it is with Chase Elliott running with a Hendrick car that takes maybe the backup crew chief away out of that stable. And, Zilich already has his win. And I bet you Dale has been wanting to try it. I mean, you know how Dale Jr. is. He's been wanting to try it. And he said, hell, I'll give it a try. So I can't wait for this. This is the most excited I've been for an Xfinity race in a while because I want to see what happens. Like, could you imagine if he wins on strategy?
Oh my God.
Oh my God. The whole NASCAR world will turn upside down.
I typically don't root for certain drivers to win certain races, but I've never wanted Connor Zilisch to win a race more in my life than this weekend at Pocono with Dale Jr. on the box. Like, I want nothing more, and I cannot wait. So if you all either don't have the NASCAR app and the subscription to listen to the radio and stuff like that, buy it this weekend. Buy it for a month. It's worth it.
I wonder how. See, I could see this actually going bad for them because
oh God.
He's going to hear what Connor wants, and he's going to give him exactly what he wants, not what the car actually needs.
Yeah.
Because it's 2 drivers talking. It's not a driver to a crew chief. So I could see
this could be so funny.
Just going way south. If he does a giant swing on something and they just completely miss it. It's like, well, you told me this is what you wanted.
Oh my God. No, that it could go poorly. It could go very poorly.
And it's like, I love it though. Like,
yeah,
there's nothing to lose here because Connor's already in the playoffs. It's literally a weekend for them to experiment. Dale gets to scratch something off the bucket list, and we move on to the next one. It's just, they're going to have so much fun. That's what I'm looking forward to. Like, that 88 team is going to be the loosest team all weekend long.
Oh yeah.
Because Dale's going to take it very serious. We know that Dale's going to be super determined, very nervous, wanting to prove that he knows what he's doing. But I just know that team is just going to be like, man, we got the boss on the stand. This is going to be so much fun. So looking forward to it.
I cannot wait. So everyone, if you're not planning on watching the Xfinity Series race this weekend, you have new plans on Saturday. So
Yes.
mark it in your calendar. Watch the Xfinity Series race because it should be so good. What else is really good to have, Dom, is stands for your diecast. And especially if Connor Zilic wins, you're gonna have to get the diecast for this, and especially like the cinnamon toast crunch car. There's gonna be a diecast made of that too. We just talked about that, and you want to display it. Get ready, guys. You all love this. You ready? On your Benzik Designs display stands, 3D printed, really good design. You all see like the 4-tiered stands I had in the background. They're all Benzik Designs. Matt Benzik is a good friend of the show, and he's created so many custom products for you all that love to collect 124 scale diecast and 164 scale diecast, whether it is in the IndyCar world, the NASCAR world, Formula One. He's created so much that I know you guys will know and love. Scan the QR code on the screen to shop for your 3D printed diecast stands now and use the promo code ATYL2025 to get 20% off your order. And Matt had showed me the numbers of the amount of sales that have come from you guys using our code, and it is insanity. Actually, I could not believe my eyes. He sent me the numbers. I'm like, is this fake? Is this not? He goes, this is real. I'm like, oh my God. So you guys clearly love these stands. And so we want to keep giving you guys the discounts on them. And of course, making new stands for you guys. We're working on something behind the scenes I think you guys will love that merges some of other collecting spaces in the motorsports world with diecast collecting. So we're very excited for this for you all. So stay tuned for that, but definitely get your Benzik designed stands. You're going to love them. That said, though, let's go into our Pocono race preview. And then we kind of got into it a little early, but we're going to get into it, more of it now. And we want to start a new segment on the live show every single week. Our friends at Goat Locker Racing, a 501c3 nonprofit for veterans, they have so many different sim racing leagues every single week that have veterans and non-veterans involved. It's truly a league for all people that just love sim racing to compete. And one of their drivers, Brandon, he really wanted to show you guys what it's like to race on these tracks from inside the car, the virtual car, and from kind of a broadcast perspective, and walk you all through the intricacies of these tracks that we're heading to on the NASCAR schedule. So he put together a video for you all, and he'll keep doing this as the weeks go on, at least this weekend for Pocono, and he's going to walk you through everything that you can look forward to at the Tricky Triangle. So take a look.
Hey everybody, this is Brandon Evans with Above the Yellow Line Media. This week we're at Pocono Raceway, the Tricky Triangle. I'm going to take you guys around a few laps here, kind of get acclimated with the track, some things you might see on Sunday, show you what the bumps look like and how to get through each corner. Here we go. Here we go, off into turn one. You want to drop the car all the way to that yellow line. Kind of follow these dots here on exit. You'll notice this really nice right here, a little downslope on the exit of turn one. If you get a great run off that corner, you can use the momentum from that part of the racetrack to scoot towards turn two, the infamous tunnel turn. And it is sketchy. When the tires start to wear and you start to lose rear grip, and front grip rather, because if you lose front grip and then you got no rear grip, well, good luck. Kind of the same thing as turn one when you come off turn three. You really, really, really want to get good momentum off these corners because the draft is just insurmountable. You can get these huge runs off your competitors going down in the corner. If you're off the throttle like that, like I just did there, a little bit too soon, you can easily lose the rear of the car. So these cars are super edgy. I'm sure you'll think back to the Denny Hamlin and Kyle Larson incident here at turn one in Pocono, just dealing with the aero disadvantages and how easy it is to get side drafted and lose grip in these cars. So you really want to keep the balance under you as you're driving around Pocono. You really want to drive these corners with some confidence. Use that draft. And as I'm sure we'll see on Sunday, save a little bit of fuel. Make those pit stops a little easier. All right, so those are some laps around Pocono inside the race car. So we're going to jump out and I'll show you a lap here outside of the race car. Now going off into turn one, I'm using that first cone as a reference. You're going to dive down onto the track, down to the yellow line. reference those white boxes or white marks on the racetrack. Use those as those kind of like guiding rails, guiding markers, track markers there to make sure you don't smack the fence. Go down into the tunnel turn, looking at that Pocono sign. Make sure that you're staying in fourth gear and just rip it through the tunnel turn. The tunnel turn does have a tunnel going through it. That's why the track is bumpy. As you know, most NASCAR tracks that have a tunnel tend to have a very bad bump through the tunnel section. Well, those are some laps around Pocono, the Tricky Triangle. This is a great racetrack. I think the racing on Sunday is going to be awesome. Hopefully I offered you some perspective here, just things to consider. Thank you for tuning in and enjoy the race.
All right. Thanks again to Brandon Evans for doing that, and looking forward to having him do it each week. It offers great perspective, and his sim rig is so cool because there's some motion to it as well. Not just from the wheel, obviously, but like the seat and everything moves. So it's really cool perspective. Each week, we're going to kind of refine it a little bit more, get you guys some different angles of his sim setup while he's doing this as well to offer you guys the best insight possible. But I appreciate him doing that. And of course, appreciate Good Locker Racing for supporting us here too. But it's Tricky Triangle Week. I'm so excited for this. This is a track that I love.
Yeah, it's a long lap, but it's a great track.
Great track, long laps. Again, tricky is the key word. In case you missed our conversation with Kevin Teal last week, make sure you go check that out. He talks a lot about the at-track experience, the fan experience, and some of his favorite moments from Pocono. I mentioned mine. I love the doubleheaders that we had in 2020, 2021. Some of my favorite memories from Pocono, but I wanted to throw it to you all in the chat. I wanted to see your guys' favorite Pocono memories. And Dom, do you have one that sticks out for you for Pocono Raceway?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. It was when Joey broke the winless streak and got his second win. He moved Mark Martin to do it. I know there's a lot of thoughts on that, but I mean, I had not seen Joey win a race yet in the Cup Series because I was normally at that time I would just be watching through the Fox schedule and kind of teeter out after that, especially when summer vacation rolled around. But 2011, 2012, I really started watching every single week and really turned into a big Joey fan and cried watching him win that race. It was just so awesome to finally see him win in the Home Depot car. It had been so long. It had been 4 years. It was a contract year. It's like everyone was just talking about, well, Carl Edwards or Matt Kenseth's going to take the 20. Joey's out. And then when he won that race, it kind of solidified he can win in the series. So, yeah, that one was a big one. That was actually that was the first race of the repave of Pocono. And NASCAR, I think they sent out the previous year's speed trap map. So it wasn't fully up to date. There were about 15 or so speeding penalties on the first green flag stop. So it was just crazy to see them figuring it out in real time where the actual speed lines were, because everyone was getting busted and it blew the race wide open. So just little things like that made it interesting.
Yeah, there's so many interesting and fun moments from Pocono. That's definitely one of them for sure. This is one that sticks out too. Kyle Busch winning after losing first, second, and third gear is one of my favorites. I mean, that was just true Kyle Busch fashion right there, just making it somehow work. Another one that sticks out to me too, Ryan Blaney's first Cup Series career win. The interview by Brad in Victory Lane for him.
That race was crazy too, because he had the best Kevin Harvick and the best Kyle Busch breathing down his neck that whole final run. And just talk about winning it outright. My gosh, that was such a great race.
In your first career victory, you want nothing more than to show that you've earned it. And that's one of those wins that stuck out to me where I'm like, he earned that. It wasn't a rain delay. It wasn't a last lap wreck. It was earned. So that's a cool one for sure.
I've got the 2012 car that won Pocono there. So
there you go.
Give her some love.
There you go. We have 2000 Jeremy Mayfield bumping Dale Earnhardt to win Pocono. Got that. My goodness.
He got his first career win at Pocono too in 1998.
This is true.
Mr. Mayfield. I think another one that's interesting would be from 1999, because there was a good long run towards the end. I think with about 12 or 11 laps to go, it looked like Jimmy Spencer was going to win that race. and then an unlucky caution came out.
Oh,
and
no.
got cycled out and ended up not winning it. But
Who won
yeah,
that one?
watching that race, yeah, that's a good question. I want to say Dale Jarrett.
Okay.
It could have been Mark Martin as well. Can't remember right now off the top of my head, but I want to say Dale Jarrett. But,
I need to watch the 99 season. I'm trying to
Dave
go
Marcus
through.
had a gnarly wreck at that race too,
Oof.
in the tunnel turn. So
Ugh.
yeah,
It's
that's
treacherous,
another
guys.
thing too about Pocono. It's like you don't just wreck there; you wreck hard at Pocono.
Yeah.
It is a very unforgiving racetrack.
Oh, here's another one from John too. 2015 when Kenseth won on fuel. Sorry to bring that one up, Dom.
Oh yeah, so that was when Joey ran out with like 3 to go, and then Kyle ran
Yeah.
on the last lap. So yeah, no, that's okay because Joey won the 500 that year. It all worked out.
It's fine. It's okay.
It all worked. It's easy. It's easy to forgive now. I actually remember I was at my Uncle Neil's watching that race. Yeah, we were watching the end of that race with my Uncle Neil's, and yeah, when Joey ran out, I was like, all right, well, there goes that. And it looked like, yeah, because I think that would have been 4 in a row for Kyle if he won that race.
I think so, yeah.
Because yeah, that was right after Kentucky, New Hampshire, and Indy. So that would have been 4 in a row. He was half a lap away from 4 in a row.
And then fuel. My
Yeah.
God.
And
Fuel
then the iconic quote is Kenseth crossing the line. Holy crap, we're gonna win at Pocono?
Yeah. Just the utter disbelief.
Yeah.
It ain't over till it's over. Oh, 2009,
Yeah.
Tony Stewart winning his first points paying race as an owner
Yep.
driver. Good
Very
one too.
good one. That's a good one.
Lots of good ones.
The
Bobby
fall
Labonte
race.
won.
The fall race that year, it was Labonte.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Y'all got
Yeah.
it.
But the fall race in 2009, Denny won right after his grandma passed. And he could like barely talk in victory lane. That's one of those races people don't remember. I had never realized that until recently. So that's one of those that's really, really interesting going back to watch. And that's an era too of Pocono where they paved just that one strip in turn 3, the patch in turn 3. And it earned you maybe 10 miles an hour extra speed if you could run the paved strip.
Yeah.
So everyone was running that line. It was so funny.
God, there's so many good moments of Pocono. I mean, you mentioned the double headers. Also the ones that you can't forget, the double DQ for
2022.
Luke's. Yeah, 2022
Good
first ever trip to
grief.
Pocono. What a time that was.
Anything for a Chase Elliott win, huh?
Honestly, man, can you imagine? Because we've had so many DQs this year too. Like, just again, not all of them have been like race winners. Like I think about Xfinity series for this year, but lots of DQs this year. And that was like the first time I remember, like, oh my God, we actually DQ drivers. This is a thing that we do. 2022. So, oh yeah, the Larson blew the tire. This is the one that comes to mind too. Again, what? Okay, all right.
What?
Do you want to say something about this one, or
what is there to say?
It speaks for itself. But yeah, again, like I keep saying, there's so many good memories at Pocono. It's such a good track. It's one of the tracks on my bucket list. I know
Always has a great crowd too.
It's always a great crowd, and there's so much to do around the track as well. Like if you want to make it a whole like week event. Now I know one thing that fans were concerned about this year was traffic. Pocono has notoriously not been awesome with post-race traffic. And that's something that fans faced last year because of a really big rain shower that just impacted parking spots and things like that with flooding and stuff like that. When talking to Kevin Teal, he did inform me that this year they are taking extra measures to ensure that traffic runs much smoother at the end of the race this year, whether it is figuring out better traffic paths, it is involving more local law enforcement, those types of things. They are looking into and are doing to make sure that this weekend runs smoother than it did last year, keeping in mind last year had rain involved in it. But just for those fans who are maybe apprehensive to head out, that are still thinking about it, or those fans that are nervous, they've got you covered this year. But definitely one of the tracks I'm going to go to, maybe trying to get there next year. Fingers crossed. I'd love to go. I believe Sal, Nicosia, Slide Job Sal, I think he's going this weekend. So
nice.
You should have fun with that, hopefully.
That's pretty close to him.
It is pretty close to him. He was like, hey, by the way, I think I'm going to Pocono, or like I'm going to Pocono. I'm like, Awesome. And by the way, speaking of that, kind of a shameless plug, kind of not, but he was like, I'll make sure I wear our new hats. And I'm like, badass. These are our new hats from our friends at Sway. It's a really cool, like rubbery, like ATYL Media logo. Like we don't have any ATYL Media true gear. We have patches, but these are our first like pieces of gear. And then under the bill is yellow, like gold, which is super cool.
Nice.
So definitely new hats for us to wear at the track. So I appreciate them for making them for our entire crew, all the content creators, everybody. Getting some sick hats. And I know Sal's going to rep his at the track. So shout out there too. But it's a triple header weekend. So Truck Xfinity Cup, all racing there. One thing that stuck out to me, which I actually did not know until like 5 minutes before we went live, Brennan Poole is making his first Cup start since 2023. He's going to be in the number 44 for NY Racing. He's had highs this year and really big lows. I think about his wreck at Martinsville this year. That was just like, oh my God, like, glad he was okay, but my goodness, that was tough. But obviously, NY Racing doesn't race in a lot of events every single season. Do we have any realistic expectations for him? Any thoughts regarding his open entry for this race?
Well, it's cool to see that his sponsor for the Alpha Prime car, I would imagine, bought into running the Cup race as well, which is awesome. Love to see that. And now it's the realistic goal is to complete all the laps.
Yeah.
If you can run all 160, that's a win for that team. That's valuable data for them. But at the end of the day, I think it's more so celebrating that they got a sponsor for the race, claim that paycheck, and get themselves closer to their team goal of having a higher budget for the next season so they can get a little bit more competitive.
Mm-hmm. The goal is getting that program more competitive. I think for Brennan Poole as well. I mean, I think he's so deserving of these opportunities that come up. Shown it on the racetrack. I mean, he's been very consistent with Alpha Prime Racing, and as he's elevated, their program's elevated, and vice versa. So excited for this opportunity for him. Hopefully, this does, like Tom said, help kind of elevate the competitiveness of NY Racing. In turn, maybe hopefully it gets Brennan Poole some good opportunities down the road as well. I know it's, politely a lower end team. So the expectations aren't too high, but you complete every lap. That's impressive. That's a good day. So with that said too, some stats to run by just on driver averages. If you guys are looking to see who maybe to pick for your race winner, if you guys do NASCAR fantasy as well, Tyler Reddick since 2022 has the best average finish at this track. This is a good track for the Toyotas, at least in recent history. Tyler Reddick's average finishing position since 2022 has been 3.3. Then you have Chase Elliott, 6.7. I know he's still knocking on the door of a win this year. Finally, a top 3 finish for him at a points-paying race in 2025 came this past week. He was on the podium for Mexico City. Christopher Bell, another driver who's great at Pocono. Bubba Wallace. So look for Joe Gibbs Racing at least in 2311 to be strong, and then maybe a good run for Chase Elliott potentially. Are there any other drivers, Dom, that you'll be looking out for at Pocono besides, I would say, the obvious like Denny Hamlin and Kyle Larson, like those two guys?
Well, Ryan Blaney is the defending winner. I think that's important. Team Penske has 3 good guys. Logano is a former winner, yes, but again, that was this car back in 2012. Hasn't gone back to victory lane there since. I would safely rule him out this weekend. I think it's just going to take one of those, like, man, they got the setup perfect for him to be competitive. I mean, I hate to say it, you can't roll out Hocevar.
You can't.
Just as I can't think of the word. Regardless, as polarizing as he
there
is,
we go.
Found it. I'm sick. I'm sorry.
You're good.
Polarizing an individual as he is, he's fast every weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, damn near almost won Michigan. So you just can't rule him out. I feel like the more controversies he's in, the faster he gets. So I would say got to keep an eye out for him. I really just don't see it out of RCR this weekend.
Watch Kyle Busch win it.
I mean, listen, I'm all here for it. I'm all here for it. I think people are starting to get a little bit more frustrated with Chase Briscoe. It's like you're fast every week, but you can't finish the deal. This could be a good weekend for him. He's won here in the Xfinity Series back in 2020. So there's a handful of guys out there that I think could put on a good weekend and give themselves a legitimate shot to win this race. But I mean, I just feel like the easy one right out of the gate is the defending winner, Ryan Blaney. He's got 2, his first career win, and then last year. What's a third win? I think he can definitely do it.
And you mentioned Chase Briscoe. In every single race this season, I constantly keep an eye on Chase Briscoe and Ryan Preece because I'm like, what can they do in the best equipment they've ever been in their careers, right? Chase Briscoe has not been great at this track in his Cup Series starts. Obviously hasn't been in the best equipment for those. His average finishing position is 19.7, ranks 21st out of the active drivers since 2022. I am struggling. Ryan Preece is like third to last on this list. But again, you look at the equipment he's been in and it's not totally there for him. But again, Ryan Preece has like far exceeded our expectations, I think, for what he's been able to do at RFK Racing. He's led the team in like results, or at least you see him more in the picture than you see maybe the conversations being positive more so towards Brad Keselowski, who I think is finally finding consistency, which is great. And Chris Buescher had a shot to win last week. Unfortunately, with how things fell, didn't work out. But I'm excited to see maybe what those 2 drivers can do. Maybe not put them in your fantasy lineup, but at least keep your eye on them to see their potential.
I think another good one too is, I mean, I feel like he was just riding high on the momentum during that time, but Chastain has come close winning at Pocono as well. But knowing now that they're in the playoffs, might just be focusing ahead on what those 10 races are. Their playbook might not be what they're doing right now. So who knows? But I do think Chastain is another, I mean, he's good everywhere, but knowing Trackhouse Racing this year, they've been wishy-washy. So it's either he's going to be uber competitive and up there, or he's going to be another fixture in the field.
And you bring up a good point. Like, Chastain's already locked into the playoffs. This is not a track that we go to again this year. So it's what's the benefit of going all out for Pocono when you could be prepping for, after this weekend, it's Atlanta, right? This is the last time we go to, or I guess Echo Park Speedway. It's the last time we're going to go to that track this year, but you can take some of your setup and translate that to other tracks down the road. Can you do most of the same with Pocono? Not entirely. The playbook for Pocono is pretty selective to just Pocono. So it's how much emphasis are these drivers that are already in the playoffs going to put on this race? And if not, then that's going to bring other drivers to the forefront, because these other teams, the playoff spots are getting limited, you guys. With SVG now into the playoffs. Yeah, lots of winners. And also, we could have talked about the SVG playoff thing, but like, we all have thoughts about that. It's fine. There's less spots for drivers to lock themselves in. So the picture is getting a little clearer. We still have a long ways to go before we reached the first race of the playoffs, but still interesting to kind of keep an eye out on that. But that said, if you guys have missed any of our content over the past few days, what are you doing? Like, go on YouTube, find us, look at our content. New episode of Nitro Nation just came out on Monday. Big Duke is taking you through all of the latest drag racing action from NHRA. We have a great relationship with all of NHRA over there with the drivers, everyone who works behind the scenes to make NHRA so wonderful. I mean, he's breaking down everything you need to know and talking to some really cool drivers along the way as well. That's every Monday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. The time might change, but it's always going to be Mondays. Splash and Dash from Slide Job Sal every Tuesday morning at 8:30 a.m. He's talking to some really cool guests that are already in the motorsports space. It's a really cool content creator. He's really bringing the collaboration there to his show. I'm excited to join his show, I think, next week or the week after. So stay tuned for that. Obviously, on Track Limits, always with the Formula One content from John DeRugeris. Keep looking out for that for Track Limits Tuesday. And then, of course, if you guys still haven't caught the conversation with Kevin Teal from Pocono, make sure you catch that. Of course, we have all new content every single day coming to you on the ATYL Media YouTube channel, Facebook pages, and Instagram and Twitter. But with that said, we appreciate you all for tuning in tonight. I did want to give a very special shout out to hold on, I need to find the text here. Okay. For Adam's dad, Mark, it is his birthday tomorrow. So a shout out to Mark. Happy birthday to you early on. Hopefully you get to celebrate tomorrow with family. But yeah, wishing you a very, very happy birthday. Hope it's a great one. So wanted to give that shout out here too. And also a shout out to our partners, Benzik Designs, On Brand, Happy Hour Racing, Go Locker Racing, The Bright Mentality. All of them are fantastic. So yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. And of course, if you guys didn't catch On Tour, I'm all over the place. Sorry, guys. But you guys have to watch On Tour too with Buddy Pooley. Phenomenal. His intros always give you chills. It's an adrenaline rush before you walk into the Cars Tour action. So definitely make sure to check out all of our content. If anyone else has a birthday tomorrow, happy birthday to you all as well. And of course, thank you to our partners for all they do. Thank you all so much for tuning in to this show tonight. And we will catch you all next week too. Thanks so much.